yeah, like this idea that the first one was an angel and slept through the night, and the second not so
Yeah.
much. And just,
Yeah. So and again, like, the first kid comes along, it's great. Second kid is just horrific. And I was like, okay, well, with my luck, if we were to have kids, it would be awful. Like the kid would be such a pain in the butt. But like I didn't want to, I didn't want the things that Jonesy did to be so crazy. Like I didn't want him
yeah.
to be Reagan in The Exorcist. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want like things swirling around the
I
room
was
and
like, Ronald Reagan? Like,
yeah, oh God,
you didn't want
oh,
that either. I mean, I guess, right?
but I just didn't want like that. I just wanted the way I was thinking about Jonesy, and I haven't said this really anywhere, but and like I mentioned Watchmen before,
Hmm.
right? The way I was thinking of Jonesy was as like Dr. Manhattan. As Dr. Manhattan gets older, how further away from humanity he feels.
Sure.
And I wanted Jonesy to kind of come into the world with like this bizarre curiosity. Like you mentioned Legos, right? Um, Jonesy, the kid down the street would be playing with the Legos, and Jonesy would pick up the piece that's meant to be grass, like the flat Lego piece that's
Hmm.
grass, and he would just look at it.
Hmm.
And like the wheels and the cogs would be turning in his head, and he would look at it almost like he doesn't know what it is because he doesn't know what
Hmm.
it is, and
Hmm.
he's trying to figure out exactly what it is and what it means.
Hmm.
So Jonesy is an old soul, but he's also other old souls, but he's
Hmm.
also very new. And he doesn't have this kind of like, I'm a monster, gonna destroy the world kind of thing. That's not his
No,
vibe.
no.
He's just, I'm here now.
Hmm.
I didn't ask to be brought here.
Hmm.
This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I didn't want anything. I had no wants. I didn't know what wanting was. And now that I'm here, I want to know what everything is. And I want to understand how everything works. And I want to know what I can and can't do.
Hmm.
And so he's learning in the way that a child would learn, but also in the way that an apex creature would learn.
Hmm.
So he's not, like I say, he's not in my mind a bad, he's not bad. And
Hmm.
the fact that his parents don't connect to him is a thing that happens in the animal kingdom, of course, where
Hmm.
like a mother will reject a cub and a father will often try to kill a male cub
Hmm.
or a male whatever. Um, but it's also very like when that happens in humans, we don't hear about it a lot.
It's
But there's
absolutely
a
taboo. It would be absolutely taboo. You wouldn't.
for sure.
Yeah.
And in Lola and Ian's case, there is that taboo aspect. And like because Jonesy, like you said, there's nothing inherently horrifying about him, even when
Hmm.
something horrible happens to one of the parents and Jonesy is involved in some way. You don't know that it's he did anything.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like he wants to do everything now that he's here.
Hmm.
And he has the ability to do almost anything he wants.
Hmm.
But he also has the concept of like the veil. He knows what's on the other side because he's been there and he remembers it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I always think of him as like a Dr. Manhattan type character. Like
That's cool.
he's perhaps not all powerful. He's not like a god, but he is God made flesh in some ways.
Mm.
In some ways, I guess. Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah. So like, Jonesy is Fredo. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted. Eh? Man,
You're my little brother.
right? Well, yeah. I mean, he's one of so many. I mean, he's such a distinct character. He's one that I'll definitely remember. Like you said, he's not over the top. He's not clownish, right? But
Yeah.
so interesting and scary in that type of psychological way. Like, I just so many times throughout the book when it's like, okay, Ian would put him to bed. I'm just like, I guess he just sleeps like a normal kid. He does. But then he
Yeah.
also wakes up and stares at the Legos for 5 hours, or he stares out the window, or he makes a comment that everyone goes, ugh,
Yeah. Yeah. Or he walks around the woods around their house nude, which they do
no big
find him.
deal. No big deal. I mean, who
Yeah.
who among us hasn't done that, right?
That's my dream. Literally
Right.
buy a house in the Catskills and walk around the woods and do
There
it.
you go, man. So we've got Lola's interesting character. We've got, Vince is, smaller character, interesting dude. Um, Ian, because Ian is not just one thing. He's not some archetype, some, what's the word? Stock character, right?
Mhm.
They're into their music. The mom you talked about, she's so interesting because you wonder what's up with her. Moses, Rashid. I mean, there's so many interesting characters, and the book is kind of like, you're like, man, this is a writer at the top of his game, for sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
Jesus Christ. Thanks.
I mean, maybe hope I'm wrong, right? Maybe the next one you're like, oh shoot, that was even better, you know? You know?
You'll definitely get the next one. I'll definitely be sending that your way.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. It's been awesome talking to you. So you were asking, you're talking about the dates. This will be, people will listen to this on the 23rd of May and beyond.
Oh,
So we'll
cool.
we'll check back in. I'll be updating people online about your about the Bram Stoker. You said it's in the middle of June?
Yeah, yeah. It's in the
Awesome.
middle of June. I'll find
Mm.
out. I guess I think it's June 17th is the actual award ceremony.
Okay.
Probably be broadcast on YouTube. They have the past
Nice.
few years.
Nice.
You'll see me in a suit if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be fancying it up.
Well, congrats, and I hope, it sounds like, if it's most, if not all of that, is just fun. Hope you have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And congrats, and thanks again for letting us into your lair, so to speak.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you rolling out the red carpet and just having a good time. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, so much fun, and looking forward to talking to you for the next one, and hopefully meeting you in real life down the road.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much for listening to episode 184 with Robert Ottone. You can now subscribe to the podcast on Apple, leave a 5-star review, also ask for it by name using Alexa, and find it on Stitcher, Spotify, and on Amazon Music. Follow me on Instagram, where I'm at Chills at Will Podcast, or on Twitter, where I'm at Chills at Will PO1, the digit one. Rob, tell us about your social media and your contact info.
Yeah, you can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Robert
Mm.
Ottone, Ottone. And you can find me spookyhousepress.com.
Okay.
And you can probably find me on Facebook. It's a picture from my wedding day, so it's not my author photo or anything, but follow me on there. I'm on TikTok too. I hate
Ooh.
TikTok, but I'm there.
Hey, it's all right.
Ugh, at Robert_P_Otone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like other people's stuff better than I like my
Sure.
own on
Sure.
TikTok because everybody's better at it than me.
Hey, who knows? Give yourself a year or two. Who knows? You'll be a TikTok influencer, man.
God, your lips to God's ears.
You can watch this and other episodes on YouTube with the Chills at Will podcast YouTube channel. I just mixed up the order of that wording. You know what I'm saying? Chills at Will podcast channel on YouTube. Sign up now for the Chills at Will podcast Patreon. Can be found at patreon.com/Chills at Will podcast Peter Real. Last name is Riehl. Check out the page that describes the benefits of a Patreon membership, including cool swag and bonus episodes. Thanks in advance for supporting my one-man show, my DIY podcast, and my extensive reading, research, editing, and promoting to keep this independent podcast pumping out high-quality content. The intro song for the podcast is Wind Down, and the other song played on the episode is Hoops Instrumental by Matt Whitehour. Both songs are used through archesaudio.com. Please tune in for episode 185 with Tony Ann Johnson. A true Renaissance woman, she is the recipient of 2 Humanitas Prizes and a Christopher Award for her screenplays, which include Ruby Bridges, you may have heard about recently, which was in the news for bad reasons. It was talking about being canceled in Florida and such.
Mm.
That was her screenplay is Ruby Bridges for Disney ABC and Crown Heights for Showtime Television. Her acclaimed story collection is Light Skin Gone to Waste. For now, thanks again for listening. I hope that these uncertain days bring you texts by writers with mad skills like Robert Ottone, whose work, like the vile thing we created, gives you chills at will.